Here's a question that sounds like it belongs in a science fiction novel. What if the future of human civilization in space is a balloon? Not literally a balloon, but close. An inflatable habitat. A structure that launches collapsed inside a rocket, unfurls in orbit, and then inflates with pressurized air to become a rigid, livable module. It sounds almost absurd. And yet, attached to the International Space Station right now is exactly that. A technology demonstrator called BEAM, the Bigelow Expandable Activity Module, and it may represent one of the most important architectural innovations in the history of space exploration. To understand why it matters, you have to understand the fundamental constraint that has shaped every decision made in the design of the ISS, the size of a rocket fairing. Every module on the ISS had to fit inside the cargo bay of a launch vehicle. The Russian modules, the American modules, the Japanese Kibo laboratory, the European Columbus module, all of them were designed around the physical dimensions of the rockets that carried them. That constraint limits how large any individual module can be, which in turn limits how much livable space can be created per launch. More space means more launches, and more launches means more money, at $10,000 per pound just to reach orbit. BEAM changes that equation. Because it launches in a compressed state, it takes up a fraction of the volume of a rigid module of equivalent size. Once in orbit and attached to the ISS, it's inflated with pressurized air, expanding to its full dimensions. The result is more interior volume per launch dollar than any rigid structure can provide. The engineering challenges of making this work are significant. An inflatable structure has to be strong enough to maintain pressure against the vacuum of space, flexible enough to be compressed for launch, and durable enough to withstand micrometeoroid impacts, radiation, and the thermal cycling of 16 sunrises and sunsets per day. The materials used in BEAM, multiple layers of advanced fabrics and composites, are designed to meet all of those requirements simultaneously. Early results have been encouraging. BEAM has been attached to the ISS since 2016, and it has performed well, maintaining pressure, withstanding the space environment, and providing useful additional storage volume. Astronauts have entered it periodically to take measurements and assess its condition. The data collected is informing the design of much larger inflatable structures that could one day serve as the primary living quarters for crews on long-duration missions. Imagine a habitat on the surface of the Moon or in orbit around Mars, built from inflatable modules that were launched in a fraction of the space required by rigid alternatives. The implications for the economics and logistics of deep space exploration are profound. Larger habitats, more living space, lower launch costs per cubic foot of interior volume. It's a paradigm shift, and the ISS is where it's being proven out. But habitat design is only one piece of the puzzle. The ISS is also a laboratory for understanding what space does to the human body, because the human body, it turns out, is not well suited to the space environment, and the longer we plan to stay out there, the more critical that understanding becomes. Microgravity is not kind to human physiology. Without the constant pull of gravity, the cardiovascular system changes. The heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood upward, so it gradually weakens. Fluid shifts toward the head, causing chronic congestion and vision problems, a condition called Spaceflight-Associated Neuro-ocular syndrome that has become one of the most significant medical concerns for long-duration spaceflight. Bones lose density at a rate that would be alarming on Earth. Muscles atrophy. The immune system behaves differently. Even the microbiome, the community of bacteria that lives in and on the human body, shifts in ways that aren't fully understood. Astronauts on the ISS exercise for 2 hours every day using specially designed resistance equipment and treadmills with harness systems that simulate the loading effect of gravity. It's not a perfect solution. Bone density loss continues even with rigorous exercise. but it slows the deterioration enough to make 6-month missions manageable. For a 2.5-year mission to Mars, the current countermeasures may not be sufficient. The ISS is the place where better solutions are being developed and tested. Research on the station covers an extraordinary range of topics: fluid dynamics in microgravity, combustion behavior without convection, crystal growth in the absence of gravity-driven sedimentation, materials science, biology, medicine. The ISS hosts experiments from researchers around the world, many of whom never leave Earth. They design their experiments, send them up on resupply missions, and receive data back in near real time. Some of the most significant research is focused on the human body itself. Twin studies, including the famous year-long mission of astronaut Scott Kelly, whose identical twin Mark remained on Earth as a control subject, have provided unprecedented insight into the biological effects of long-duration spaceflight. Gene expression changes, telomere length shifts, cognitive performance variations. The data from these studies is shaping the medical protocols that will govern future deep space missions. And then there's the psychological dimension. 6 to 9 people, confined to a space roughly equivalent to a 5-bedroom house for months at a time, with no possibility of going outside for a walk, no privacy beyond a sleeping pod the size of a phone booth, and the constant awareness that a single system failure could be fatal. The ISS has taught us a great deal about what it takes to maintain crew cohesion, morale, and mental health in those conditions. Lessons that will be essential for the crews of Mars missions, who will face communication delays of up to 24 minutes each way and will be truly on their own. The ISS has also served as a proving ground for the technologies that will carry humans beyond Earth orbit. The Orion capsule, NASA's deep space crew vehicle, has been developed in parallel with ISS operations, with lessons learned from the station informing its design. Commercial crew vehicles from SpaceX and Boeing have been certified through ISS missions. The logistics of long-duration life support, the protocols for medical emergencies, the procedures for spacewalks in deep space, all of it is being refined through the ongoing operation of the ISS. And the station itself continues to evolve. New modules have been added in recent years. New experiments are constantly being installed. The commercial sector is increasingly involved, with private companies using the ISS as a platform for research and technology development. The station that launched as 2 incompatible modules in 1998 has grown into something its original designers could barely have imagined. But the ISS will not last forever. The station is aging. Some of its original components are approaching the end of their designed service life. Cracks have been found in certain sections of the Russian segment. The question of what comes after the ISS, and when, is one that space agencies and commercial operators are actively working through. NASA has announced plans to transition low Earth orbit operations to commercially operated stations, with the ISS potentially being deorbited in the early 2030s. What replaces it will be shaped by everything the ISS has taught us: the engineering solutions developed for the station, the Whipple shield, the CMGs, the water recycling system, the electrolysis oxygen generators, the ammonia cooling loops, will inform the design of every future space habitat. The lessons learned about human physiology, psychology, and performance in space will guide the selection and preparation of future crews. The international partnerships forged through the ISS program will provide the diplomatic and logistical framework for future collaborative missions. The ISS is not just a space station. It is a 25-year experiment in what it takes for human beings to live beyond Earth. And the results of that experiment are the foundation on which humanity's future in space will be built. When astronauts look out the cupola window at the planet below, the thin blue line of the atmosphere, the swirling storms, the vast dark oceans. They describe a perspective shift that's difficult to put into words. The Earth looks fragile, beautiful and fragile, and the awareness that everything humanity has ever known and done and built exists within that thin shell of air and water makes the work of the ISS feel urgent in a way that transcends science or engineering or politics. The long game for humanity, as one astronaut put it, is to stop being a one-planet species. The ISS is the first chapter of that story. And if the engineering secrets hidden within its walls are any indication, the chapters that follow are going to be extraordinary. Thank you for watching this series. If you've learned something new, if you're walking away with a deeper appreciation for what it takes to live in space, please subscribe and leave a comment below. And when the end screen comes up, stay right there. The next video is one you won't want to miss.